Welcome to the Weekday Report for Thursday, December 26th. I'm Joe Potente. Here's a brief look at the news. The data breach that compromised credit card information for some 40 million target customers has hit home in the Kenosha area. Like national financial institutions, local banks have put measures in place to protect customers whose information might have been captured during the November 27th to December 15th breach, and they say their customers have been taking steps to protect themselves. Southport Bank has called its customers whose cards were used at Target during the affected period. Chief Financial Officer Paul Otto said the bank is also monitoring activity to make sure there are no unusual charges. A new church in town has picked up where a previous congregation left off, providing people with fellowship and a hot meal on Christmas Eve. Christ the King Church hosted a free community dinner on Tuesday afternoon. It was the continuation of a tradition that the former First Congregational Church began 13 years ago. Christ the King moved into First Congregational's Library Square building after First Congregational disbanded in August. When it came time for another holiday meal, longtime organizer Bart Caldera asked the new church if they would carry on the tradition, and they welcomed the event with open arms. A group of volunteers organized by the Westosha Kiwanis spent Christmas Eve working to improve the home of a Trevor teen with disabilities. About 15 volunteers built a wheelchair ramp for 17-year-old Isabel Sosa. Before the ramp was installed, Isabel's mother, Mary Ann Sosa, had to leave her daughter's wheelchair in the family's van and carry her into the house. The volunteers plan to return over the next 2 weeks to install a handicap-accessible bathroom and to make improvements to the home's heating system and insulation. Did you see a slow-moving van driving through town and playing holiday music this Christmas? No, it wasn't an ice cream truck. It was the Salvation Army, which loaded toys into its van and gave them away at multiple spots around Kenosha. Instead of having donated toys available for pickup at their office, the group took to the streets and brought the toys to the people. About 600 toys, donated from local businesses and residents, were given out. Most times, a pastor would frown upon cell phone use in church, but not at Bristol United Methodist on Christmas, where church volunteers hosted and cooked for more than 70 servicemen. Navy recruits from the Great Lakes Naval Base in northern Illinois were bused to the church in Bristol. They were given the opportunity to call home, check Facebook, and play video games. Such luxuries are not normally provided on naval bases, and the recruits said they were very thankful for the brief reminder of civilian life. What's trending today? What will you remember most about Christmas 2013? Tell us on our Facebook page. Up next is Brian Sharkey with some Get Out entertainment ideas.
Hi, I'm Brian Sharkey with some entertainment ideas heading into the new year. Liz Snyder is on vacation. The Racine Theater Guild will rock in 2014 with the return of the Rocky Horror Show at 9:30 p.m. on New Year's Eve. The musical is a tribute to the science fiction and B-horror movies of the 1970s. Both the Recplex and Kenosha YMCA will offer sport challenges and swimming for families throughout the day on New Year's Eve. And the Harlem Globetrotters return to Milwaukee for 2 games at 1 and 6 p.m. Tuesday. And of course, on New Year's, local bars, restaurants, and nightclubs will ring in 2014 with live music, champagne toasts, and balloon drops. If you can't wait until the New Year's Eve for some fun, Kenosha native Gary Falcone and friends return to the Brat Stop for a show with other local bands that include Boys and Toys and the group Memory Fields on Saturday. New movies that have already opened this week include Leonardo DiCaprio's The Wolf of Wall Street, directed by Martin Scorsese, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, starring Ben Stiller, the samurai story 47 Ronin, and the boxing flick Grudge Match. For all these stories and more, see Friday's Get Out Entertainment section. I'm Brian Sharkey. Happy New Year!
Thanks, Brian. Now here's a look at what we're working on today. Jill Rozelle will have an overview of some ice fishing do's and don'ts, and James Lawson is taking a post-Christmas look at store return policies. Pick up a copy of the Kenosha News and check kenoshanews.com for all the details on these stories and more. I'm Joe Potente with the Weekday Report.